All right, here we go. It is time for. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, let's do it. So, hello, everybody. How are you? This is the part two of our Daytona 500 history stream that we did last Thursday. But we have some invites. We have one invite, which is. Oh wait, guys, we're live now.
I know.
I know. You
trying
didn't
to-
tell me to
Is there
unmute, so
I thought we were introducing the Ryan.
I was just chilling.
Yeah. So, Ryan Blaney fan, you start first.
Hello, I'm a Ryan Blaney fan. As you can tell, I'm a Ryan Blaney fan. Whatever, fuck it. I'm new to this podcast or whatever the fuck you want to call it, stream, whatever. Wherever you listen to this, I think it's only on YouTube, but I'm a fuckboy, so what do I
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's only on YouTube. And of course, you already know him from the Angel Talks we did about Jason Jacoby and from last stream, Maxwell Fay.
I got my dick stuck
Hello,
in
everyone.
a watermelon.
Last NASCAR fan back here. Glad to be here for episode 3 of Race Hub.
Yeah. So anyways, Lana Rauda, good afternoon. Have an excellent weekend, Angel. You too, Liliana Rauda, as you are here as part of the audience. So,
Damn, you actually get viewers? I don't know how that feels.
Anyway, so
I think
let's
we're
start
growing.
with some of the news that just got to us. The first news that we had is the embarrassment. Jeffrey Earnhardt is going to Sam Hunt Racing.
Way to embarrass the Earnhardt family more, dumbass.
Yeah, go all the way from junior motorsports. Go from junior motorsports being in a part-time ride, and then somehow getting to Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity equipment for a part-time schedule. You still fuck it up, and then you end up at JD Motorsports on your deathbed. But then you're given your second chance at Sam Hunt Racing. And I think it's because of the Toyota Racing Development, because Jeffrey Earnhardt,
honestly,
he's been part of the TRD before, and I think with his background with TRD, I think he'll be able to not be a contender, but I think he'll be able to bring home the car in one piece.
I mean, bring home the car in one piece is a bit high for his standards, but I mean, then again, you're looking at it like it's effing NASCAR Heat 5.
Yeah. I mean that's true. That's true. You're moving yourself like you're NASCAR Heat 5. I mean, first of
yes,
all,
I'm Jeffrey Earnhardt, and I get a top 5 finish at Las Vegas because it's effing NASCAR Heat.
Because it's the stupid 5-star. It's because it's like his. No, it's Heat 4 actually. He was in 29. That was the Joe Gibbs ride he had. It's the stupid 5-star rating car.
Yup.
And
He was,
you have to remember, there's something to remember about Jeffrey Earnhardt. He managed to have 0 top 10s in DEI equipment.
You know what I remember about him? That he embarrassed the Earnhardt family.
Jeffrey, well, here's the thing though. Jeffrey actually did in the K&N series. He managed a second place finish.
Yeah.
That's true, but the K&N is much lower.
It's a lower series though. It was a lower series, but now that's ARCA. That's all ARCA now. It's got merged with ARCA or whatever the hell.
I don't really like the change to ARCA. I personally watched the modified series quite a bit. I found it very fun.
It is. It's a fantastic series. I love the open wheel modifieds.
I mean, now we're just looking at ARCA Break.
Lionel, if you're listening to us, make freaking modified diecast.
I highly doubt they're
who love the
listening to us.
modifieds.
Yeah. As well as more truck diecast.
As you're all talking, I'm actually holding my newest diecast on my collection right now.
Nice.
Well,
you mind presenting it to the audience?
Actually, no. It's a Sheldon Creed Championship truck diecast.
Oh, nice.
I have the 164 from the Authentics. It's in my case.
Mine is a 124 signed.
That's pretty cool.
So, anyways, the next big news is that Gus Dean is going to be driving an ARCA series part-time for Venturini Motorsports.
God, I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, I'm like, So like Gus Dean, I remember him coming into the Truck Series as a full-time rookie. I was like, okay, it's gonna be another one of those rides where like he's gonna do nothing, and I was
Yep.
exactly right. He literally like wrecked. It was like either a DNF or a very low finish, but then he capped it off. I think he had a few. I think he had like 2 top 10s.
I mean,
Yeah.
any top 10 is good, but probably not gonna.
Yeah, I mean
He
that
left.
is true. And also
Angel?
one of the things that
NASCAR left.
he's
Oh,
back.
there he is.
Oh, he's out again. Don't worry, it happens. But one of the biggest news that we're gonna get into.
He's gonna come
right
back, and I'm
as
gonna
we,
say nice internet, bro.
lol. Anyways, he's back.
Hey, you back,
Maxwell is
Maxwell?
Yep, I think he's back. He might be a little bit mic dead, but he's back at least. And one of the biggest stories that we're also gonna have, we have some breaking news, and that is that NASCAR has finally revealed the entry list for the Busch Clash at the Coliseum.
Okay.
So one of the things that is going to be really weird is that for the entry list is going to be every single full charter team.
Oh wow, really? Including
Yeah.
including Rick Crap Racing.
Yeah, including Rick Ware Racing. So
No, it's Rick Shit Racing.
here's the entry list on full, and we're gonna share the screen. It's from the NASCAR website. So
You're backstage still, Maxwell?
oh yeah, he's back. Oh, let me just rekindle him into this. Oh, he doesn't have any. His microphone is apparently there. Oh, he is
There
back.
it is. There it goes.
Hey, nice. I thought it was your internet, and when you got back, I was
It's
gonna
probably
say nice.
it might have been my internet because like
I
my
was gonna
router's,
get
like-
back. You were gonna get back, and I was gonna say nice internet, bro.
No, it's not McDonald's. Well, I'll just say
McDonald's
my-
Wi-Fi.
I don't
yes,
have McDonald's.
Sir.
I don't have McDonald's Wi-Fi. I don't have McDonald's Wi-Fi. My freaking router's like 2 rooms over.
Wait,
Yeah.
Christopher Bell did good at the Chili Bowl again?
I don't know. So, anyways, this is the full entry list for the Busch Clash.
Melon Man.
Russ Chastain, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Ken Harvick, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Corey LaJoy, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott.
Eric
And also
Almirola
Eric
last
Almirola.
season, next year, Rip Almirola.
Yeah, we already talked about in the show, me and Maxwell, about Almirola's retirement, and I hope it is the.
Hold on, bro. I'm gonna get something to eat.
All right.
Yeah, all good.
Just
So,
talk to Maxwell.
So, anyways, so for the audience, I mean, we're gonna see a lot of teams. Like, for example, Bubba Wallace is gonna give the second consecutive Clash for 2311, because we have to remember Ty Dillon was in the Clash last year.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Ty Dillon was in the Clash last year, but it'll be interesting to see 2311 race the Clash again and should make the Clash.
Yeah, it should be. And only one Rick Ware racing car that is going to be for Cody Ware, the son of Rick Ware. He's going to be in the Clash. I don't know why he's going to be in the Clash. And another one is going to be Ryan Preece, which, remember, we already covered the amazing storyline that is going to be surrounding Ryan Preece as now a new backup driver
As
for
well as
Stuart Haas.
Yeah, as well as Cody Ware getting his full-time ride in the Cup Series, which congratulations, but nobody cares.
Exactly. And now let's continue our Travesian story of Daytona 500 history. So last Daytona 500 we reviewed was 2015, where the race was good, but it did ran under yellow at the end, obviously.
Yeah.
And now we're going to restart with 2016. It was a little forgettable that race, especially with
the cautions.
with the caution.
There weren't as many wrecks. The only wrecks that I remembered were I think Chris Buescher hit the wall or something like that. He crashed with Michael Annett or something like that.
Hmm. And also the 93 of De Benedetto, I think.
Yeah, because Michael Waltrip drove the 83.
Hmm.
That was a cool. I like that Maxwell House paint scheme. That was pretty cool. I'm surprised that didn't make 164
Yeah,
or wasn't even offered.
that could have been a pretty good paint scheme. And the most memorable moments was obviously a finish.
Oh yeah, well as well as the other wrecks, there was the Chase Elliott
Oh yeah,
going through the grass
Mowing
and
the
destroying
grass.
his splitter, as well as Dale Jr.
Yeah. But yeah, but the most memorable moment was the finish
finish.
between Hamlin and Truex.
Definitely, Kenseth getting shoved out of line at the last second, and then Truex almost snagging a 500, but he still has to wait. While Hamlin captured his first Daytona 500 victory.
Yeah, I was with my family when it happened, and when I first saw them coming to the line, I was like, Truex Scott has it. And then I was surprised to see Hamlin on the scoring pylon in first.
Yeah, he got it by I can't. It was by a literal a fender.
Yeah,
maybe.
It was like a fender. No, it was actually by a splitter.
Splitter.
Then in 2017, this 500 was good as it was the very first 500 with stages. And one of the most painful moments was the Dale Jr. wreck in stage 2 while everyone was coming to pit road.
Yeah, as well as Danica Pat, as well as I would say the Dale Jr. crash. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Everyone it was really aggressive. Everyone was super aggressive that race because you mentioned the Junior wreck as well as
oh boy, the Payne Jimmy Johnson wrecking.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson wrecked. DJ Kennington, who raced his way into the 500 for Gaunt Brothers. That was their first Cup start.
Yeah, and actually, DJ Kennington, he is the only Canadian to make a 500 start until Villeneuve is going to be attempting this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, poggers to the Canadians, and for the finish itself, it was pretty nail biting because
it was because
fuel mileage. It was the very first fuel mileage 500 I ever saw.
I agree. Chase got out of line. He almost had it. Then Kyle Larson spun. Something like that. I can't remember if he did spin. I might be thinking of the 2015 Xfinity finish. Because Larson spun in both.
Yeah. I mean, it was first Chase Elliott where he ran out of fuel, then Kyle Larson.
Yeah, the Larson ran out of fuel, so I was right. Yeah. And Larson ran out of fuel, and then Kurt Busch managed to score his first Daytona 500 victory.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good strategy for him to stay in the draft to save fuel.
Definitely, it was JTG Doherty, Chris Buescher and AJ Allmendinger were there at the end. They almost got to him.
Yeah, but shout out to AJ Allmendinger who got it third place in that 500. If you forgot, then bad for you. Then to 2018.
This was another very interesting Daytona 500 from what I remember. I remember the last lap stage crash for stage 1.
Yeah.
Because it was the same deal as 2017. They kept getting more aggressive, which I really liked. So we had 3 big ones that happened in a row. We had one that happened in stage 1, and then we had one in stage 2. The one in stage 2 took out Danica in her final ride.
Oh, are we talking about the bust?
Which she had nothing to do with. So she was there for the ride.
Are we talking about the bust?
2018 Daytona 500.
Oh, well, I thought we were talking about the Danica bust.
And we have to remember, the first wreck, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Jimmy Johnson, Ty Dillon, they were involved. Corey LaJoie retired after 8 laps because of some sort of mechanical failure. And then we had a triple.
Man, I like Corey LaJoie, genuinely.
Yeah. And then we had a triple between Chase Elliott, Danica Patrick, and Casey Kane. What a way for Danica Patrick to end both her Daytona, her NASCAR career, and her IndyCar career.
She ended literally her first ever Cup start. She wrecked. Her last Cup start, she wrecked.
And on her
Mind
last
blow.
IndyCar, yeah, Brad Keselowski also retired a lap later. And
Rip
then,
Brad.
and then when we saw the crash of William Byron, no, it wasn't William Byron. It was actually it was I think it was the
Bowman?
Chevy of Brendan Gaughan. Yeah, it was Brendan Gaughan that everyone was like, "We're running out of Chevys." Yeah,
I
because this
remember
was the
Brendan Gaughan saying that on the radio. That was funny.
yeah. I mean that race was literally the fall of Chevrolet.
Yeah, I would agree. But the thing though was that it was one of the most interesting finishes of all time.
Oh yeah,
Back straightaway, final lap. Austin
Eric
Dillon
Almirola.
driving the number 3. Remember, it's been what 30 years
Yeah.
since it's been, or 20 years.
Yeah. It was
20 years, not 30 years. 20 years.
20
since the
years
3
of
last came
trying.
into victory lane.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He dumps Almirola going into turn
Yeah.
3.
And
Right
after-
rears him right into the wall. It drives away Dale Earnhardt style. I
Yeah.
loved it.
And after
Everyone
that,
loved
it was
the 3
20
going
years
back to victory
trying.
lane.
20 years of frustration, 20 years for Earnhardt, and 20 years later, Austin Dillon wins it. And one of the things that I forgot to mention in the last one was that Austin Dillon, as a kid, was in victory lane when Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500.
Yeah, he was in the photo. I remember.
And you just take a look at that photo of Austin Dillon as a kid, and you put and you have to put on alongside to him 2018 Daytona 500 champion.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Then we got to 2019, which was really weird to see everyone pit after 10 laps in that edition.
I'll say 2019 was a very interesting season, to say the least.
Yeah.
But
We'll
you
put it
had,
that way.
You had Jamie McMurray making his final Cup start.
Mhm.
Final, quote unquote.
Don't
Yeah.
you mean McDouche?
They don't say I love Jamie Mack. He's awesome. We don't
Mhm.
call him McDouche.
No, I watched
I know
Michael.
if you're a Roots fan,
I don't actually hate him. I was just messing with you.
it's all good. It's all good.
So, anyways, that, and then the first retiree was after 104 laps when Casey Mears retired from the race.
Yeah, he was driving for Premium Motorsports.
Yeah.
That was his
No, he
final
was-
Cup start.
No, it was
As
for
of
Jermaine
now.
Racing.
Well, it was Jermaine, but it was
Premium.
Premium, yeah. But Premium
Yeah.
had the car as well.
And then we saw on lap 156 the crash that basically destroyed Jimmy Johnson's fuel.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was the freaking Rick Ware cars that
Yeah.
didn't know how to pit. It
I
was
mean-
BJ McLeod driving the Win Dixie, and then
Yeah.
it was the 51. I think that was Cody Ware.
Yeah, it was 52, the 52 of Cody Ware, and then
52 of Cody
well,
Ware and the 51
yeah,
of BJ
and
McLeod.
one of
Other way
those
around. And
yeah,
then
one of
they
those
crashed
drivers
right
tangled with
into
Tyler
the
Reddick.
31 of Tyler Reddick, who was just trying to get to pit road.
Yeah, he was
Slammed
trying to get
into him. His car somehow ripped
My
apart
question is why
the
we still call him
fuel
Rick Ware
injector
Racing.
part
Should we just
on
call him
Jimmy
Rick
Johnson's
Ware-
2019 car. That car still ran without the freaking fender.
Yeah,
And it even damaged
You know what?
the
You know what
fuel
that reminds
line.
me of? The Brad Keselowski Martinsville incident where he just raced without a front end completely.
oh yeah,
That was 2014. That was awesome.
was
I miss those.
2014.
I
days.
just remember that, and that's what that reminds me of, and I just couldn't help laughing during that
Mhm.
entire thing.
and out of everyone that
I was like,
involved
God
in that
damn,
crash-
Rick Ware can't do anything right.
Yeah, and out of all those cars involved in that crash, Cody Ware was the one that had to retire. And then after 169 laps, Bubba Wallace retired from the race.
Yeah, that was really interesting because remember 2018, he came off from a second place finish
Yeah.
in the Daytona 500. and people were really looking for him in high expectations to even win the Daytona 500 the year coming into 2019. But it was really sad to see him have mechanical failure. I can't remember what it was. It was like I think it was mechanical failure.
Maybe it
Yeah.
was that camshaft incident in Fanta.
Yeah. And then and up to that point, the whole 190 laps had been pretty calm, and then with 10 to go, the NASCAR decided to just drop the caution nukes. Lap 191. Matt DiBenedetto, Paul Menard, David Reagan, Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola, Daniel Suarez, Daniel Hemrick, Martin Truex Jr., Matt Tiff, and Chris Busch are all involved in a crash.
I remember that as well. That was in turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
No one
The
got
treacherous turn 1 reminds me of the Charlotte Roval.
And from all the cars involved in that crash, you have to feel for Eric Almirola. He was already coming after a crash in last season's 500, and then after taking his Adderall, he just got wrecked with 10 to go.
wrong place, wrong time situation, which really sucked for him.
And obviously, Tyler Reddick retired a lap later because of damage, because he was also involved in the crash. Kevin Harvick also retired after 194 laps. And then we saw Kurt Busch retire after that. And then we also saw Landon Castle. I think he retired. Probably. But after 207 laps, because we went like 3 green white checkered.
Yeah,
maybe-
it was like 3 overtimes.
Yeah, it was 3 overtimes. That Denny Hamlin, no side by side finish this time, won the 500. And
Yep.
yeah, that was a pretty crazy 500, I tell you.
Can't
And
argue
then-
with that. It was a decent It was a really good 500 finish. What's even funnier was that you might have heard of them, but it's the Ireland boys. They attended the
Oh.
Daytona 500. They were reached out by NASCAR to come out and do a video for them.
Oh, nice.
So that's when
I
like
watched
Ireland
the
boys like
article.
really started to gain popularity. Was they attended the Daytona 500 like they were in a suite
That was pretty good
with one of
popularity.
their friends who was a diehard NASCAR fan. But yeah, it was like a interesting perception of gaining more popularity with the younger generation
Yeah.
and other sides.
Mhm.
Other than that,
And
though, let's
then-
move on to the 2020 Daytona 500.
The coronavirus Daytona 500.
Well,
so,
this was before.
yeah, it was
Corona
before.
really
So the
started
entry
coming.
list was the original, the OG 43 car field, but only 40 could make it. And Chet Fitchum, Daniel Suarez, and JJ Yeley missed on it.
Yeah, what's even frustrating was that I'm trying to remember was that Suarez got completely screwed,
Oh yeah,
like literally completely screwed.
that's what happens when you race for the Gone brothers. So
I
anyways,
still can't believe he had that ride. It was
Yeah.
just for a year. That was mind blowing. Even how they made a die cast, it's crazy. And I have that car. I have the ComScope 96.
Lol. So anyways, in pre-race, it all started with craziness with Donald Trump giving the command to fire engines.
That was really
Sheamus,
special to me.
It was a really nice gesture of
Of
Former
America
President
and
Trump.
just showing that we do care
Yeah.
about these drivers and that there's more sports than just American football because rednecks out there, NASCAR football, whatever the fuck you want to cheer for.
Mhm.
It's just good to show that I feel like the president kind of cared for everyone in that moment, especially all the
Yeah.
drivers. It was just a really cool moment altogether.
Yeah.
I
And
totally
then-
agree.
The driver of the pace car was Sheamus from WWE. And the one that waved the green flag was Redneck Jesus himself, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and we was all great. This pack racing was amazing until
William
rain.
Byron wrecked. I remember. He got.
No, it was first rain.
I thought it
And
was- hang on.
and again, for the second year in a row, they pitted after 10 laps.
Oh yeah, the rain. I totally forgot.
Yeah, I mean, they rained, and when it was discovered that it wasn't going to be resuming right away, they moved it to Monday.
I
So it
remember.
was it's the second time that it was moved to Monday. And when it did, oh boy, after 58 laps, William Byron kaboomed himself into the wall.
Yep. Pretty much Stenhouse just gave him just dumped him.
Yeah. And then after 89 laps, rookie Quinn Houff,
Oh god.
he crashed like he always does.
Then BJ McLeod was also involved. He spun, tried to avoid.
He retired after 105 laps. Then Cole Custer, he also went bye-bye.
Yep.
And at one point of the race, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s hood went up. And then when we saw the big one, it was totally
The first big one.
Yeah. And on that
It was,
first big one,
I think it was Almirola, Keselowski, Di Benedetto.
Yeah. Ryan Preece, Jimmy Johnson.
Yep. We forgot to mention that Ryan Preece threaded the needle in the 2019.
I remember
Daytona
that now.
500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We forgot to
he
mention
did.
that. He
Yeah.
managed to thread the needle in one of the most interesting wrecks from the 2019 500, but let's get back to the 2020 500.
Yeah. And Jimmy Johnson, after coming out of 2 bad seasons, he retires on his final 500. Well, take a look at Jeff Gordon. He won the pole on his final Daytona 500.
And still was involved in that last lap wreck.
Yeah. And then wrecks kept happening. And after it was all said and done, we get to the ass end of the race. So it was last lap. Ryan Newman was coming into huge chunk of speed. Then here comes Blaney, and Blaney tries to go high, then dives low, and then Newman wrecks, blocks him, and then he gets spawned, crashes, goes upside down, then gets struck by I think it was it was the 32 of Corey LaJoy, goes
Corey
into
LaJoy.
the air, and he slides in a shower of sparks, coming home fourth. And while that was going on, Danny Hamlin became Daytona 500's fourth back-to-back winner.
I totally remember that wreck on live television. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope Newman's okay.
Yeah, I was waiting news on Newman. I was like checking NASCAR website, trying to check NASCAR YouTube to see what happened, because I had that feeling like if I was watching the 2001 Daytona 500. I literally had that feeling.
Like everyone's breath was held silent. Like nobody didn't really cheered for Hamlin winning the 500. Everyone was focused on if Newman was okay.
Yeah, and
which was a great. It was a great it was a good how would you say it, like, respect.
Yeah. And when we saw Newman going out of exiting the hospital with his 2 daughters, we could all sigh a big relief.
Yeah, that was a great sign.
Yeah. And with that, we've reached the 4 back-to-back winners. So let's recap those back-to-back winners. 73 and 74, Richard Petty.
I'm gonna get
83
a
and
salad.
84, 83 and 84, Kel Yarbrough. 94 and 95, Sterling Marlin. And 2019-2020, Danny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin.
And now we get to 2021. This was really, really hard to watch. I mean, first of all, let's start with the drivers that did not qualify, which were
Ty Dillon, for example. Like He ran really well in this duel, but couldn't manage to get a spot because of the speed lock-in.
Yeah. And Garrett Smithley also missed out. Timmy Hill
Yeah, Timmy Hill or Tim I.
and Noah Gregson. And now we get into the race itself. I mean, the first it was 20 years after Earnhardt passed away, and everyone was doing a 3-lap salute. And we can technically say that Dale Earnhardt got his revenge from the grave towards Derek Cope,
God.
because after 3 laps, Derek Cope cut a tire and pancaked the right side of his car. That basically
That was his
eliminated
final
him.
NASCAR Cup Series start ever, and it was his final NASCAR race ever.
Yeah. And Dale Earnhardt from the grave decided to get his revenge, I would say.
Yeah.
And then, well, everyone was just doing pretty good racing. They were all doing tight racing, 3 wide. And then Christopher Bell, being aggressive, decides to dump Almirola and Bowman to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Daniel Suarez involved. David Reagan.
David Reagan.
Ryan Newman. Eric Jones for Richard Petty.
Yep, I remember.
Ryan Blaney. Chris Buescher. Anthony Alfredo. DiBenedetto.
Even Michael McDowell suffered damage, but we'll get to him later.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that later. So yeah, after that, 2 laps after the wreck, the rain came out.
Yep, I remember the rain.
Yeah, and when I was watching, there was actually snow in my area, so I had to deal throughout the race with this constant snowstorm warning. I felt like I was watching the '79 Daytona 500. And then we had to wait and wait and wait. One eternity later, the cars were finally back on track, but then would get treated to the choo-choo train race.
I'm back with salad.
Nice.
I actually eat salad.
And then after 37 laps, Quinn Oof decides to oof.
Yeah, sounds about right for Starcom, who is shutting down, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's shutting down. It already shut
Who
down.
do they sell their charter to again?
It was I think who they Starcom sold their charter to who, Maxwell?
Starcom sold their charter to 2311.
Yeah. Which that charter put in place for Kurt Busch.
Yep.
Anyway, so
But Kurt Busch is going to be driving the 45 this year.
yeah.
Yep.
And then Tyler Reddick DNF'd, and then we saw and then Byron DNF'd after 191 laps. Then Truex, and then we get to the very end. Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski were battling for the win. It looked like Logano was going to win his second, or Brad Keselowski was going to win his first, until McDowell just gives a little bit of a tap to Keselowski.
He gave Keselowski a huge shove.
Yeah.
It was he just gave him a huge shove, and Logano wasn't ready for it. And what happened? Logano spun, so did Keselowski, and there went everyone in the top 10 except Michael McDowell as he drove away.
Yeah, and when I saw Elliott in front, I immediately thought the race is over, and I think Chase Elliott was in front. He's the winner. So a championship and a Daytona 500 champion all consecutively. And then I saw the replay and when the caution light came on, and then I saw Michael McDowell. Was like, damn, the Love's car won on Valentine's Day.
And it's incredible. I mean, Michael McDowell, the guy who everyone knew for just tumbling at Texas in 2008 Cup qualifying for Michael Waltrip Racing, driving for Starton Park, JTG Doherty
Man,
Racing
I've
in the
always
Xfinity
loved-
Series,
I've always
and
loved
then
Michael McDowell.
driving for part-time for RCR in the Xfinity Series, getting a win at Road America, the underdog,
Yeah.
and the bridesmaid is no more. He gets his
Mhm.
first Cup Series victory, and everyone celebrated in the NASCAR community. The salty Chase Elliott fans on Twitter were toxic, but we
But I mean,
quieted
isn't that
them.
just Chase Elliott fans in general?
But yeah,
No,
but
it's just
in
the
general,
salty, toxic ones that
mhm.
want attention. Everyone else in the
Besides
NASCAR
that,
community was happy.
yeah.
The Brad fans and the Joey fans got at each other's throats. They were blaming each other.
And
As a
besi-
Blaney fan,
It's kind of like
I'm
how
just-
and it's kind of like how NASHawk put in the stop motion random cut with Brad and Joey. Joey was order-rated. Brad's like, Joey.
as a Blaney fan, I'm just sitting here in the back of the Penske car, just being like, minding my own business, being like,
yeah.
Well, now you got
when
now you
that
got-
happened, I just started.
Now you're dealing with Austin Cindric, the guy that's completely sober instead of Keselowski.
That's true. So,
And,
I mean, didn't Keselowski break a champagne bottle in Victory
Yeah.
Lane once?
He did, yes,
Yeah.
and
He
he
cut-
drank like
cut
a
his-
huge glass of
Dude,
Dude, that
Miller
was.
Lite
I
after
was.
he won the
That,
championship.
that was kind of funny.
He was on ESPN, like he was live on ESPN talking about his championship. He's like, feels damn good.
No, that's a cup of Miller Lite there. So
Drunk Keselowski?
yeah. So
Yep,
now
that
that
was
we've
pretty funny.
reviewed every single Daytona 500, now we have to get into one of the biggest debates. Which Daytona 500 is the best and which Daytona 500 is the worst?
Arguably, I'll go first. I would consider the best Daytona 500 if it was to be by vote or my pick. But my pick for the best Daytona 500 of all time, the 2007 Daytona 500. I would
Mhm.
consider that to be the best Daytona 500 of all time. The worst Daytona 500 of all time, I would have to choose 2015.
Yeah, I agree with that. The best Daytona 500 of all time. Oh man, personally. Man, I'd have to give it just to the finish in the 2021.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not a
that
bad
finish
choice.
was. I was scared for Newman, genuinely, but that was a beautiful finish, to say the least.
Yeah, it reminded me of the 2013 Xfinity opener race at Daytona.
That's
Oh,
true.
boy.
I
Larson
just
went
feel
into
like.
patch
I
bump.
mean, I'm either stuck between that or this year's Daytona 500, just because I love Michael McDowell as a
How long have you
person.
been a NASCAR fan for? Like,
Me personally?
yeah,
Since
Like when-
around 2012.
2012. So you started watching in 2012.
Yes, that is
All right.
correct. I started collecting diecasts in 2013, and now I have over 200 of them.
Wow.
I'm
And,
broke. I'm a
and
broke-
when do you start, Maxwell?
What?
When did you start? When did you start making being a NASCAR fan?
Being a NASCAR fan. First time I started watching NASCAR was in 2005, 2006.
Wow.
And 2007 was kind of like full-time, part-time. But then my first full-time seasons watching 2008 and beyond.
Wow.
My first
um,
full-time season watching was actually only a year after I got into it. I loved it so much.
But the problem was I couldn't get all the races.
Yeah.
So it was I tried to watch full time, but it was really difficult. But I remember watching. I watched Speed Network all the time.
Oh yeah.
I always laughed my ass off to Jimmy Spencer giving the crying towel to anyone. I miss
So-
Jimmy Spencer's crying towel bit so much. They should bring it back for Fox Sports.
I
Um,
agree.
Yeah, they should do. They should bring Spencer back to Fox. My first season was actually the first time I ever watched a NASCAR race was the 2008 Pete Boys Auto 500, and the only thing
The
that
Pep
I
Boys.
remember, yeah, the Pep Boys Auto 500. The only thing that I remember
Casey Mears
from
flipping.
no, the only thing that I remember from that race was Jeff Burton, Juan Pablo Montoya, Dave Blaney, the multi-car crash.
They mean Jet Dryer Montoya.
Well, before he was Jet Driver Montoya, when he was just Juan Pablo Montoya. He didn't get the Jetfire nickname till after 2012.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how he managed to do that. I don't know if it was just bad driving, but I think something.
He broke something in the car, like something broke, and he couldn't steer the car.
And then boom, 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 boom.
So, anyways, now for my best and worst Daytona 500, I would say the best that I ever from every 500 that I've watched was it is actually the 2017. That finish was really nail biting. Fuel mileage 500.
I agree. It was a great 500.
And for me, the worst 500 that I've ever watched was it 2021?
What?
Yeah, because of the underdog win and the train racing, really the whole race in general. And
yeah, I agree. The train racing's not fun. It's very boring.
But I mean, the underdog win, I felt really good for him.
I felt good for McDowell though. He deserved it. He's been there all the time. Just never could capitalize.
Yeah. And my second worst 500 has to be 2011 not because of the exciting racing, not because of that. It is all because of the 16 cautions.
I would say the second worst Daytona 500, in my opinion, would be. That's hard. Probably the. It's really hard to say my second least Daytona 500, but the most hatred I hate I hate the most the 2015 Daytona 500. It was super forgettable.
I agree.
It was just what?
Yeah. Now let's get into some of the best rivals to finally end with this edition of NASCAR Hub. Let's look at the NASCAR rivals throughout the years. First of all, let's start with my all-time classic, which was Matt Kenseth versus Joe Logano.
Well,
Yes!
that's not well. You could argue that one's been. I mean, the grudge. The grudge was going on from 2015 till 2017. But
Yeah.
well, it's actually I would argue it would be Kenseth versus Penske.
I agree.
It's more Kenseth versus Penske.
I mean, he complained about Ryan Blaney in the car, Brad. I don't know what he had against Ryan Blaney, genuinely, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it was something.
Yeah.
I don't know either. You'd have to go to Radio Chat or something like that, Radioactive. Where
I mean, I did watch Radioactive, and it didn't look like Ryan Blaney did anything wrong in that moment.
Yeah.
I would
that is
arguably say like one of Kenseth's greatest rivals of all time would have to be Jeff Gordon. It was during the whole Gordon versus Kenseth.
Speaking
era.
of Gordon, when I think about rivals, I think normally about like turning each other. But when it comes to rivals, when it comes to talent, Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, they were fierce rivals, but they respected the hell out of each other.
I know that just made
I totally agree.
It was I did some research on that. That would be one of my favorite rivalries, not because they'd never turned each other really, but just because of the amount of respect they had for each other and how they raced each other hard, but they never complained.
I would say one of the greatest rivalries of all time would have to be this is my perspective though, because I'm a huge Greg Biffle fan, but I would say Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick's feuds. The Biffle Harvick feuds.
That man, I've
those
seen
are
Kevin
classics.
Harvick play rough. He'll climb over damn cars to get to him.
I remember.
Well, no, he climbed over to get to Ricky Rudd. That was Ricky Rudd he was going after in 2003. The 2002, like it was like the Busch series. Like Harvick grabbed Biffle by the nape of the neck and like yelled at him, and then we keep going on throughout the years. Like Biffle had a big tenure with RCR. Like Robbie Gordon wrecked him at New Hampshire in 2004 for no reason. But yeah.
And speaking of that 2002 feud between Harvick and Greg Biffle, that actually put Harvick in probation to what eventually he did in the Truck Series at Martinsville.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, that was he did it at Martinsville again, which gave him more. Which he was Kenny Wallace had to drive the 29.
Yeah, he was banned
for a couple races because Harvick was just such an aggressive driver.
Yeah. So
Well-
we can say that Kevin Harvick in his first 2 seasons he missed 2 races. One was in 2001, which was the Daytona 500, because he started running the 29 after Rockingham, and then in 2002,
After Daytona, because the 3
Lawrenceville.
turned into the 29.
the black 3 turned into the white number 29, and the first scheme of the 29 car. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It was
Yeah, it's like an unused NASCAR paint
Yeah.
scheme.
it was oh yeah, I found the image. I'm gonna share with you. It's basically the same, but it's almost the same. I would say it's almost the same, but just with a few tweaks.
Well,
Like here's the
bro.
paint scheme.
Yeah, that was the first car he ran. That was Rockingham.
Yeah, it's basically similar to the car he
It was like
ran
an
at
inverse. It
Atlanta.
was like a reverse scheme, kind of, in a way,
Yeah, it is a reverse scheme actually of the Dale Earnhardt
of
car.
the signature Dale Earnhardt. And I like how Harvick did it
Well,
again.
shoot, guys, guess
last
what?
year.
And he did it
What?
again.
I think I need a new keyboard. My space bar isn't working.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Holy
We're
crap.
right in the middle of this. My space bar starts not working. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is great. I love my.
What a great debut, Ryan.
Yay!
Yay, your space bar broke.
Everything else works just fine. Like I can type. I was looking up like my opinions on the NASCAR's biggest rivals, and nothing showed up because I hit the space bar and it's like, no,
Yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of
no,
Ri-
it's not working. I just accidentally looked up NNN.
yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Speaking of rivalries, I would say that possibly the Joey Logano versus Joe Gibbs Racing rivalry needs a NASCAR hub very apart from this one to explain the whole story.
I would say Kyle Busch versus Joe Gibbs Racing versus Logano and
Don't you
like
mean
all of his
just
teammates.
Kyle Busch versus the garage in general?
Oh God. We would mention
Oh.
like what the Tim Shettle incident, Chase
Kyle
Austin,
Larson.
Chase Austin. What else?
Kyle Busch has always been a dickhead.
Well, he got unlucky in those moments. Like Chase Austin, like broke something and completely crashed into him.
Fair
Tim
enough, but I
Shettle
mean,
broke-
other than that,
Tim
he's
Shettle
just
broke
always been a
something as
dickhead.
well in the middle of a corner, and Kyle ran into the back of him, Noah Gragson style.
I mean,
And
Guys,
his spotter's like, "Wow." I'm sorry, dude. He shouldn't
I'm
be on the
desperate.
racetrack.
Someone help me pick out a fucking keyboard.
wow. Oh wait, what?
I need help
Oh.
picking. I need help picking out a new keyboard.
Yeah.
Just look on Best Buy or something like that, or
One
Target.
of the I would say the best
No,
episode
you
of
see,
Kyle
I
Busch
would.
versus
You see, I
the
would look at
Garage.
Best Buy, but look, Best
Yeah.
Buy.
Yeah, that's all. So one of the
Best
best
Buy.
episodes of Kyle Busch versus the Garage was episode 2008. Kyle Busch versus Dale Jr.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh my god, yes.
I mean,
Wrecking Dale
some-
Jr. in the spring Richmond race, and then getting his comeuppance in the fall Richmond race.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how Kyle Busch didn't got tarnished at that moment when it happened by Junior Nation,
Yeah.
but when,
I
when
hated Kyle Busch with a passion after the 2010 truck race at Texas, where he turned Ron Hornaday into the wall.
Yeah, that was
under
completely
caution.
uncalled for.
2011.
2011, sorry.
Yeah.
But still, it was. I remember Harvick was on the radio saying, "I'm gonna punch him. I don't care."
And one of the
the
also
Harvick
another
Kyle Busch
rivalry
feud in
Kyle Busch
2011
has
was awesome.
it's basically Kyle Busch versus NASCAR
I
because
remember Jimmy
of what
Spencer
happened
had
in
on his
2010.
chalkboard, Budweiser and Double Mint don't mix.
oh boy. There was this rivalry that Kyle Busch
Kyle
had
Busch!
against NASCAR in
Hey,
2010
hey,
at
hey.
Texas.
Hear me out. Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski.
Oh,
Brad
no.
Keselowski, Kyle Busch is an ass. That intro, I loved it so much.
Holy crap! And okay, some other
All
rivalries.
right, time to look at
is-
keyboards like a bitch.
Well, another rivalry that this one is really forgotten
Alright,
was
time to go
Blake
tell my
Griffin
parents. Be
versus
right
Jimmy
back.
Johnson at Martinsville in 2013. This one has been forgotten over time. But yeah, that was really weird. And some other rivalries is Kyle Busch versus Chase Elliott. Well, it hasn't been a rivalry yet, like it has
Not
been with
much.
the
I would say Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
versus Kyle Busch.
oh boy, or Truex versus Logano at Martinsville.
Oh, Truex versus he's been okay. Truex has had a bone with Logano since like 2015, 2016.
And
He got ran into the
basically-
wall at Auto Club, and he's
Yeah.
like, 22, did he put me in the wall? Did he hit me? And Clayton, he was like, hell yeah, he hit you. The heck that's all about.
And then we got to Martinsville in 2018, and it was all between those two. And what happened afterwards?
You know
On the
why I'm so
interview
upset my
was-
keyboard's broken?
Joe Logano winning.
Why?
and,
Not plugged in?
And Truex
No, 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 no.
saying he won the battle, but he didn't
This
win the
is
damn
my
war.
keyboard.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Logitech.
Logitech.
Wireless.
Wow.
Wireless.
Oh shit, I did a face reveal.
Lol.
Hello.
No one saw anything.
one,
We
one
saw
day,
ya.
one day, if
No,
we
you didn't.
gave-
Yes, we did.
if one day, if one day I reach
Oh,
like
cool. I have to
150
go back
subs,
to the crappy
we'll do
Windows 10 keyboard that
a
it came
NASCAR
with.
hub with our faces. But anyways, this is gonna wrap it up for NASCAR Hub episode 3.
I'm going back to the bad Windows 10.
Okay. Thank you all guys for watching.
Gosh darn it.
Have a
that-
good
that
night,
was,
folks.
Yeah, have a good night. That was Maxwell Fay. That was
Bye.
Ryan Blaney Racing.
The man
And-
who rages about his keyboard.
Yeah.
You can call me
And
Max.
Finally,
West
finally,
NASCAR
I'm Angel
fan.
Diaz Rauda, and you made it to the next play.
I blame anyone who